Watching Crossroads, welcome back. European nations say they will help Italy deal with a surge of migrants arriving from Africa.
Now, interior ministers from Germany, France, and Italy, along with the EU Migration Commissioner, met on this day to discuss how to ease the migrant crisis. The three nations pledged more money for Libya's Coast Guard, but didn't give details on how much. Migrants have been pouring into Libya from East and West Africa in hopes of reaching Italy. Italy has brought in more than 500,000 immigrants by boat since 2014, and a record 181,000 came in last year. Now, joining us to speak more about the migrant crisis is Nina Larson, our senior diplomatic correspondent. She's at the UN. Now, Nina, what do other EU nations need to do to help? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? My mistake. It's Tara Kangarloo. Yes, not Nina Larson. Tara, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Let me rephrase that question to you. What do other nations need to do to help? Certainly, it seems like Italy's being deluged.
Of course, certainly this is not an issue that is only affecting Italy. This migrant crisis and the refugee crisis is affecting countries like Germany, France, and other European nations that have already taken in a lot. We're talking millions of people in total across Europe. Now, Italy is taking a strong hit. You mentioned the numbers. This year alone, we have close to 80,000 people that came via boats, mainly from Libya. These are people that are fleeing persecution, violence, lots of conflict that we see across Africa. And also, let's not forget what's going on in Syria right now. So a lot of these people are using water as a way to get to Europe.
And the reason that Italy is bearing the brunt of that is that purely geographical, that Libya is closest to Italy?
I think right now Italy is being vocal. Last year we saw Greece being local. Then prior to that, France was being very outspoken about the way they're hosting large numbers of these refugees in. But to your point, yes, Libya, if you look at the map, is a gateway for a lot of refugees and asylum seekers from the sub-Saharan Africa, but also Bangladesh and other countries in the Middle East to come to Europe and get their way across the Mediterranean. So it's both proximity, but also the fact that other countries are not taking these refugees in. You look at countries such as the Czech Republic, Poland, and Hungary that, point blank came and said, we're going to shut our borders and we're not going to take these people in. And then on the other hand, you have places like Germany and France and Sweden that have taken on thousands and hundreds of thousands of these refugees and asylum seekers.
2,000 migrants, some in that neighborhood I've heard, have died so far this year in 2017. For your organization, for you personally, give us a flavor for how dire this crisis is compared to others that you've seen from a humanitarian standpoint.
Sure. When a mother puts a child on a boat, decides that they're no longer going to have their child on ground. And that's very telling, because that sea, that water, you have no idea where that's going to lead. And you're giving your children to strangers. Remember, a lot of these people are human traffickers, or they're human smugglers that are taking the very little money left in these families to take their children and loved ones away to some place that they think they can have hope. And that really sums it up. It's not going to go anywhere until the situation is resolved.
All right, Tara Kangarloo, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this very important subject.
Thank you for having me.
Well, more than a dozen people are dead after a tour bus crash in Germany.
Are investigators any closer to finding out what caused the accident? That's next.